What writing failure has taught you the most?
It's funny. The first novel I wrote was terrible, but I think you have to write it to learn how to write a novel. It's like you have to write a screenplay to learn how to write a screenplay. Um, so you just have to fail. At the same time, you kind of gotta, as you come to your first novel, you have to think, oh, this is gonna be published. This is gonna be great. Oh, everyone's gonna love it. I'm a novelist. Just like, um, and then you're just like, a year or two in, and you're like, yeah, I can't do anything with this. I got nothing. But you've put in the time, and you kind of get the idea of what needs to be done in order to, to write a novel. So.
Did you think it was bad, or did other people say it?
No, I thought it was bad, and it was bad. It was all over the place. Yeah, I was. So.
What was it about?
It was about a marriage that was breaking up, and yeah, it's funny because it was like I wrote it like 9 years before my marriage broke up, so maybe I was just foretelling my future.
Oh.
But yeah, it's I was young and precious. I think if I'm precious with my work, that's when there's a problem. I can't be precious.
Do you think you cared about the novel too much?
I think I cared about the label of me as a novelist too much. I think I was a little too hyped on that. There's a beauty to what's interesting is once I got published, and then your book comes out, there's a whole, oh, is that all there is? And that's that Peggy Lee song. Is that all there is to book publishing? Except it's different words, but that's the greatest club to be in, because then you talk to other writers and you're just like, oh, hey, yeah, how's your book? When it's out, and that's usually the thing. It's they could be excited it's on the bestseller list, but they got 12 interviews to do that day, and it's like, so there's still that. Oh, okay, I got to get I got to get in this mindset of actually caring about a book that I finished a year ago. And, it's bougie problems, I guess.
Do you think people feel the same once their film comes out? Or that's different?
When Jesus Jerk came out, I got to see the rough cut. And then when I saw it at the first film festival it was at, I didn't know what the final cut was going to be. So when I was there, it was fun to watch, but then I was realizing that I was gauging the audience. I was listening to the audience more than I was watching the movie, because I wanted to make sure the jokes were landing, and I wanted to make sure that when there was supposed to be silence, there was silence. And so that's how that worked. And then I saw it one more time at another festival, and I did the same thing. And I was just like, all right, what jokes are landing, what's working, what's not working, and it was kind of consistent. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm just a screenwriter, I'm not the director, but when he was there too, and then after that, there was another screening, and I just stayed for the first act. I was waiting for one punchline to see if the audience got it, and then they all got it, and then I left and came back later to do Q&A. I don't know if I've ever seen it again in its entirety, and it's a weird relationship, because I see the film and I see where I go, oh, I was right off camera to the left. Oh, that's the day that that associate producer got in a fight with the unit production manager. Oh, that's the day that I was hiding behind the truck to make sure I was out of frame, but I can see it's so. My relationship to it is it's almost incestuous. It's almost too much to see, and it's very happy with it, but it's a little disconcerting, I guess. So again, I got to see it in production. So seeing it in production is a very different experience and a very lovely experience. I think that was my favorite part of the experience, is to see the different takes and the different choices the actors were making. And, you know, I'm looking at Eric and going, oh my God, they're making me look good. And he'd be like, they're making both of us look good. And I'd be like, oh, you know, so, yeah.
If the audience hadn't laughed at that one punchline, what would have happened?
I probably would have been, we've totally failed. Utter failure. Yeah. I had definite punchlines in mind. And a lot of them our lead actor, Sasha, had to deliver. And he did great. And it was, you know, it worked. So.
Sure, but sometimes, you know, audiences don't. We've all been in a film where we're the only ones laughing, and we're like, why am I the only one that's laughing here?
Yeah, that's on that example. I mean, but it's, at the same time, that movie was everything to me, because that movie was about me. That movie was my life, and that book was my life. So it was, I wasn't sure if I should write it as a memoir. I mean, I was writing it as a novel to test it out as a novel, and I wasn't sure if I should pull out some of the fictitious things to make it a memoir when it was still in book form. But it read better as a novel to me, and it read better with more leniency into facts of the world up. Now, I took a journalistic approach to the world of the Jehovah's Witnesses, so I made sure everything was absolutely factual to the nth degree across the board. So I actually had to do a lot of research on that. But that movie was me growing. That movie was all me. And so that movie was that will be the most important movie probably of my career, because that's the story I needed to tell. And I needed to tell it that way, and not in the woe is me. Oh my God, I grew up in a restrictive religion. No, I didn't want that. I wanted the levity of, you know, of the okay and why people are there. And I wanted more. I didn't want a definitive answer. And to a lot of there's ex-Jehovah's Witnesses out there who do not like the movie because I portrayed the Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't say anything bad about the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'm like, that's on purpose, because this is just a character study, and it's essentially me. So.
How does that character differ from Johnny Suede?
Yeah. That's the fictional character I should have clung on to. The character's name's Gabe, and he's just earnest. He's trying to just find his truth, and he's trying to live in it, and he's trying to stay a Jehovah's Witness. And that's kind of what I did. I was trying to find my way to stay in, because I believed it through my soul. So. But I also wanted to feel okay around people who weren't Jehovah's Witnesses. And I also just wanted love. So a lot of that is just the yearning for someone to be in love with. And, you know, me as I know the backstory of me, because when I was 6 years old, I was engaged to Pamela, because I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. You know, I was very romantic. And it just had this yearning for family, and that's how I saw my way out of feeling bad. It's like, oh, when I have a wife, then I'll feel better as a Jehovah's Witness. And so, the Jesus Jerk doesn't go that far into it. Jesus Jerk is kind of 10 years of my life smashed into 6 months. So,
but Johnny Suede, forgive me, I'm gonna go watch the movie, because now you have me intrigued. I want to see, and who doesn't want to see a Brad Pitt movie? So, what about that character do you wish could have been you?
I don't know if I wish he could have been me. I think I just related to him because he's kind of dumb, but he's earnest. So there's just like, he's making mistakes left and right, and and at that time in my life, it was pretty tumultuous, because that was around the same time that my friend had died. And I think I was just looking for something. And I think the character like Johnny Suede was trying to just fit into something. and he really just wanted a girlfriend, and he wasn't mature enough to understand when the right girl was right in front of him, that it was right. And so that all kind of made sense to me.